Woo!
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is yet another edition of Nothing But the Truth with
Brother Jamil.
and Sister Tisha, and we have a very special program for you tonight. So glad that you could join us again, and so glad you've been joining us over these last 3 seasons of broadcasting. You know, we're not here every week, and we're going to be here every week, but
Hmm.
every time we're here, you're here too. And that's what we love about you. That's what we love about you the most.
Yes.
So let me tell you some things that are going on. I'm going to give you to the world's greatest co-host in just a
Yes.
moment, and the most beautiful. I have to say that. Okay, but I'm going to give you to the world's greatest co-host. But I want to tell you, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight's guest is author, commentator, intellectual. Sister Katrina Muhammad. She's the author of the book Relationship Talks, a guide to meaningful conversations for couples in courtship, engagement, and marriage. Yeah, that's the book right there. So we have
Exciting.
the author joining us in just a few moments. It's exciting, I know. But I'm going to give you the world's greatest co-host, and we got some more announcements, and we go right into the program. Tisha,
Assalamu alaikum, family.
wa
Well,
alaikum salam.
welcome again to another edition of where we at? Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. I want to welcome you, welcome you. You know what we need you to do. We are interested in growing our platform. Oh, before we go further, I want to tell you we met our goal of 1,000 subscribers on
What?
YouTube.
Woo, woo,
Thank you,
woo.
everyone. Praise be to Allah.
Yes,
But we
indeed.
want to keep growing. So, what we
Mhm.
ask that you do is go over to our YouTube page, Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Like, share, and subscribe. And then go over to our Facebook page and do the same. On Facebook, you can find us under The Real Jamil. Is that what you're under, Jamil?
No, it's
Or is it
Jamil
just Jamil
Muhammad on
Muhammad?
Facebook.
Okay. And then on my page, Tisha Muhammad, like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Help us grow this platform. Right. All right, Mel, back to you.
All right, yes, indeed. I'm so happy to hear we've reached 1,000 subscribers, and that's just the floor, and there is no ceiling. So let's continue to like, share, and subscribe. Comment in the comment section because your conversation, your interaction, that's what makes this program what it is. And we could not be anything without you. As a matter of fact, as the Manhattans would say, there's no me.
They're not saying that tonight. They're not.
Then I don't do that. Okay.
Let's go and tell
What's
them who's here in the chat today.
well, oh, let's see. I can't see. You tell us who's there. I think Brother Jerry's
Brother
already
Jerry.
here, though,
Yes,
isn't he?
Brother Jerry is here. Welcome, Brother Jerry. We also have Brother Harold is here. Some Lakem, Brother Harold.
All right, Greensboro.
Everybody's filling
Yes,
in.
indeed. And
Yes,
so folks are coming into the room. As you all come in the room, let's make sure that everybody just check in, touch the stone, and let's go out, or touch the stump and let's go out on stage at the Apollo, right? So that's how we're going to
that's
do it. But tonight, dear brothers and hey, Rockwell Radio Show is here.
right.
DJ Rockwell is with us tonight. So we've got some folks gathering around the campfire. A few events before we get started.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, right here in the same place and same time, we're going to have our brother. You've been missing him, and we have too, but he's agreed to come back. He's got a new book project out, and you don't want to miss Jay DeLay. That's
Oh,
right,
yes.
the voice of a nation, right here on Nothing But the Truth next week, next Thursday, a week from today. You don't want to miss that. So that's going to be happening. Great time there. Then tomorrow, since you may be at home, I'm going to give you an address, and maybe somebody can enter this in the chat where you can go and listen to some good radio. I know
Mm-hmm.
you already listened to the Yardbird Suites edition of the Morning Brew, Brother Donald and Brother Jerry and Brother Harold and others and Trisha. I know you all listen to the Yardbird Suites. But tomorrow, if you go to www.wpfwfm.org, you can tune us in at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central. Tomorrow morning, yours truly is on with a special tribute to Sly Stone. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be hot as Texas fish grease, okay? That
So
means it's
black.
going to be hot. Yes, that's hot. That's
Black.
hot.
So black.
That's very black. And in addition to that, we have some other announcements later in the program.
Oh,
So
yes.
let me get right to the meat of the matter. It's 5 after, and we don't want to cut down the time. Usually we wait until 8 after to bring the guest on, but you all have been pressing us about this guest. She's here, and I don't think y'all even believe me. Until you see her face, you won't believe that. We want to see her. You say
Right.
she's here, but where is she?
Right.
So I want to bring her forward at this time.
Not.
She's with us this evening, and there's nothing that nobody can do about it. She's in the house. She is the author. She's a commentator. She is a friend of the Black community and one of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's top helpers there in Chicago. She doesn't carry a title, she just gets the job done.
Wow.
She's a person who has written books, and some of them are soon to be published, but the one that is making the rounds the most is the one we cited earlier, Relationship Talks.
Yes.
The author of Relationship Talks is with us tonight. She is in the house, and we want you to welcome Sister Katrina Muhammad. There she is. There she is. Told you. Told you. Okay, so all y'all that thought I was telling you the fibs, huh, there she is. How you doing tonight, sister?
Welcome.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Well,
Thank you
alaikum
so much
salam.
for having me back on Nothing But the Truth.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
Love it.
Did y'all
You
see
all
the
look
next
great.
one?
I've been watching your shows. You have been advancing. I'm so, so proud of your 1,000 subscribers for you.
Yes.
Give it up. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
I'm so excited and so happy. So let's continue to subscribe, hit notifications, make sure you tune in, send the link to your friends and family. We have to support each other. This is a great show with great guests. So thank you so much. I'm honored to be back.
All
Yes.
right, all
Love it.
right. Well, go
One
ahead,
of my
Tisha. You can
favorites.
begin. I know you have a whole lot to ask about. I'm right here. I'm going to follow up, but go right ahead.
I want to put my notes down. So, okay, family, for some of the new people who are just joining us, we want to introduce you again to Sister Katrina Muhammad, like he said, the author of Relationship Talks. We're going to ask Sister Katrina to explain to some of us who haven't been able to experience this book yet, what was her inspiration on writing this book? What does this book do for you? Why is it so important that you need to get this book? And then after that, we're going to jump right into the good stuff. When we're going to get to the good part, get down to the good part. We're getting to it. Sister Katrina, the
Question.
floor is yours.
Thank you, Sister Tisha. I love that question. I mean, what motivated me to write it is that the minister said, look, before you get into any of these courtships,
Hmm.
call yourself getting engaged and married, have you asked all the questions that you should ask? He said there is no such thing as a stupid question, and that you should ask as many questions as your mind can think of. And so I said, okay, let me get my little pen and my notebook. And I started
Yeah.
writing down all my questions. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, maybe I should just type them. So I started typing them. Then I started posting them. And people were like, wow, these are some really great questions. And, can I have them? So then I started emailing it to people, PDF. At that point, maybe I had 300 questions or 500.
Mhm.
I don't remember. But Allah was just putting these questions in my mind. Then people were like, this should become a book. And I said, all praises due to Allah. If this is going to help people, then I want to do it. Anything
Yeah.
that can help us and help us have better, stronger marriages and relationships, where we are marrying people we are compatible with, then I want to
Yes.
be a part of that project. So Allah sent me on a mission. Like I started researching marriages and relationships all around the world, why divorces were happening all around the world in different cultures. We
Hmm.
have a lot of similarities with other cultures in the Black community. There are some hot issues such as finances and things like that. And then I interviewed many couples. I interviewed couples that were married over 30 years, 40, 50 years. I interviewed newlywed couples. I interviewed divorced couples. I
Yes.
interviewed singles. I interviewed my family members. You name it. I was asking people what happened, and what were the issues that came up in their marriages, either a marriage that had already expired and they were now
Mhm.
divorced, or a marriage that they were still in and, working through issues, right? And so that's where all the topics came from. And then I was married. And so I kind of had an understanding a little bit as well. And then Allah helped me put the book together. And it was a tremendous team. You can't do anything solo in life. I mean, I guess you could, but it's better. It's always better with a team, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to give a shout out to the team. The team is
Come
Brother
on with it.
Kobe, my producer. He was amazing. I never published a book before. And he was like, Sister Katrina, I got you. So praise be to Allah for Brother Kofi, Brother Tawan, who did the cover and also the back cover, Brother Talib, who did the photo, the professional photo. He's here in Chicago, has a wonderful new studio. Student Minister Jamil, who did the forward in the book. And I was so nervous when I asked him to do it. I didn't think he'd say yes, but he read the book like within hours and called back and was like, yes. I was like, all praises to Allah. So Sister Karai, very, very dear friend, and my mother, my late mother, edited the book, both of them.
Very
So
good.
just so thankful. And then countless other people who invited me and us to the show, to their shows, podcasts, to talk about the book, being interviewed. I mean, just our brother, our late brother, Brother Nabah Muhammad, he did a fantastic
My
commercial
brother.
for the show. Also interviewed me as well, and I just so many people were involved in the process of this book over the past 5 years. It was first published 2020. Now it's 2025. It's been 5 years already. I can't even believe it. Like it just flew by. And I have so many great stories to tell you. All praise to Allah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's a thorough way to answer that question, and I really it gives rise to a question in my mind, Tisha, if you don't mind.
Please.
You've been here riding with the project since 2020, and I didn't realize it had been that long.
Right.
But I do remember you telling me, "Hey, I want you to read this manuscript and let me know what you think." I loved it immediately, and then you were ready with the follow-up question. Okay, good. So you're writing the forward. I said, okay, okay, very, very good. But
Yes.
I thank you for having involved me in the process because it started me to thinking about things that gave me the anecdotal, and I'm telling you the anecdote right now, that
Mm-hmm.
gave me the strength and the wisdom and the sagacity and really a guideline to follow in courting my wife that I have today. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I want to ask the question of you: how often do you hear victory stories or accounts of couples who have used the book to great effect? I mean, how often does that happen in your experience?
Um, it happens quite a bit. I mean, I'll meet people like I serve on a committee here
Hmm.
in Chicago, the
Okay.
social committee. And what we do is we participate and do a lot of research for, activities for the believers, right? Bowling,
Hmm.
night, things like that. And
Mm-hmm.
there was a couple on the team. I'm not going to say their name or anything, but I was giving the book out, I think, or I brought the book up or something. I can't remember. We were in a meeting, and then the person was like, "I have that book. That's an awesome book. Oh my god!" Da, 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 da. And then someone in the meeting said, "That's Sister Katrina. She wrote the book." He was like, "Wait, that's you?"
Ah,
And I was like, "I know the brother Tyler made me look real cute in this picture."
yeah. Yeah.
It was me. It was so funny. So I said, all praise to you. He was like, I love this book. And long story short, I knew they were in courtship, but I mean, now they're married. And and
Mhm.
so it's just I get those kind of comments all the time. People who are coming up to me and sharing with me how the book is helping them in their courtship, help them to get married, help them realize the person they were in courtship wasn't the right person for them. May Allah be
Okay.
pleased, but
Okay.
I'm like,
Okay.
cool. I wish that person
Okay.
well. It's just that person we weren't,
Mhm.
compatible. And I'm thankful that I found that out because your book was asking questions that I didn't even think to ask, right? And
Right.
so
Right.
all praises due to Allah. I mean, to get stories like that, to hear that from people, I mean, I've even gotten emotional, when people
Mhm. Mhm.
some of their private because people don't have to tell you their information, but people get very, in detail with me sometimes. Maybe
Mhm. Mhm.
because they read the book and you feel close to the author, you've read their words, and you're like, so I could talk to you about this, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
like, sure,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we don't know each other, but
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
and just telling me, how the book brought them uh, from the brink of like separation and or divorce, and
Mm.
the
Right.
couples who are already married and using the book. So the book is not just for people in courtship or engagement. This book is for people who are already married too, and to hear some of their testimonies of just how it brought them closer and how it helped them understand some things. Because there were some
Right.
topics in there that they just for whatever reason, being
Mhm.
married however long, they just never discussed it. It just never came up. And I mean, I can understand how that can happen because if you think about it, and if you read this book, and hopefully your readers have, and they've been paying attention to the various podcasts that we've done over the years with regards to relationship talks, there are some serious questions in here that might be considered hard discussions to have, right?
Right.
Because they might trigger or they might touch on an emotion or something that happened to you
Right.
that
Mhm.
you've never told anybody before.
Right.
How you're
Wow.
discussing it with your courtmate. And so
Mhm.
just imagine what that feels like in terms of this burden, this heavy burden on your shoulders, and just lift it off, because now you can talk to this person who you are trying to become one with, right? Just the two
Right.
Mhm.
becoming one together. And now you can have these deep discussions about your life and how you've grown and things that have happened to you and how you thank Allah for that experience. It was a trial
Mhm.
at that time, but
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
here you are, however many years later, and you're like, but look, Allah brought me through that, and this is where I am now. And I wouldn't be that person today if I hadn't gone through that. And you're sharing
Okay.
all of this with the person who you're trying to develop a relationship with and grow a legacy and a family with. That is amazing. And if this book is helping people have those kind of conversations, all
Right.
praise to Allah.
All right. All right. Yes, indeed. Yes,
So
indeed. And you're listening to Sister Katrina Muhammad. You're actually viewing her live on Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. And I'm telling you, the discussion, it promises so much more. Tisha, you had something you wanted to add.
right. So this made me think about something what you just said, how it helps you with the hard questions, right? But it also, the good thing about the book, it is such a great tool, and you could use it. There's no one certain way to use it, because it
Mhm.
does help you with the hard questions, but it helps you with those easy questions too. When you're going through courtship, there's levels and phases to it, of course. So you don't just jump out there on the second date bearing your soul and asking the hard questions, because I'm be like, hold up, bro, that's not your business. I might not even like you, right?
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what happened when I was 12, right?
But you,
But
why you
right,
know that?
but maybe later on, if I say, okay, he may be the one, let me open up, then
Right.
I can use this as my guide to segue into that conversation and kind of, I don't know if it's give you the courage, but kind of help you through
Yes.
that hard part, over that hump. But it does have the nice easy questions too, right?
Me.
So
Mhm.
it just, there's no certain way, method, or timeline where you have to ask the
Right.
question,
Right.
or have to read the book this way. You can jump, we jumped around,
Hmm.
right?
Exactly.
But we hit
Exactly.
every page though. We hit
Encourage.
every
And what
page, huh? Every page.
and what we do lately has been
Yeah,
we'll just open the book up to a section and do a couple of pages. Like
we
just
did.
pop it open wherever it comes open and go into that
He's
because you can't
freezing.
know each other too well. And I want to bear witness personally. I'm not trying. Hmm? Say
Go
it
ahead.
again.
No, you was freezing. You were freezing. Your
I was
camera had
freezing.
froze. What were you about to
I
say?
don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to freeze, but that's because I'm so darn cool. Okay, that's probably what that is. But listen, listen.
It's not in
What
the
I
book.
found
It's
out.
not in there.
What I
Oh, brother.
what I found out what I found out was that I feel much better. And I want to be transparent about this. I feel much safer and better, and we're making greater and greater progress all the time. We're certainly not where we're going to be 30 or 40 years from now, but certainly right now, I feel good. I feel safer every day, and my home is my resort. And
Hmm.
I think that's because I thoroughly look into and understand, and I'm interested in my wife because she's an interesting person. I don't know if the other folks who read the book tell you those kinds of stories, but I can bear witness that it's true here in the Ozarks. It's very true.
To Allah. Praise be to Allah. I mean, there are over 2,000 questions in the book. I have
Hmm.
met couples that are like, we intend to answer every single one of them. Or couples said, yeah, we've already answered all of them, right? We have
Hmm.
gone through all of those. But the reality is maybe sometimes it's going to take you some time, and then that's okay. Sister Tisha said you all skipped around different questions, different sections. That's fine too. I mean, I
Hmm.
said that right in the beginning of the book, that you don't have to be so traditional, like, okay, page one.
Right.
Question.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
don't have to do that. You could look at it and say, you know what, this finance chapter, it has some serious questions. I don't know if we're quite ready. I mean, we've only known each other for a week. Let's
Hmm.
get down to maybe religion and education, right?
Right.
Let's
Hmm.
talk
Hmm.
about that. And then you go from there and determine where you want to be. You could even, someone came up to me recently, won't say no names,
Hmm.
but they
Hmm.
were like, Sister Katrina, I love the book, right? But I have one suggestion, one question, one one thing about it. I was like, what? They said, you use the word compromise in the book. And for me,
Hmm.
that's a trigger. That's a trigger word because compromise to me means somebody's losing. And
Oh,
I've been through some stuff and I just don't, I don't like that. And I said, you can change the word. Whenever you
right.
see a word in the book and it's maybe making you uncomfortable and you don't like that word, don't use compromise. Use
Hmm.
agreement. Use
Mm-hmm.
another synonym for the word that makes you feel comfortable, and that's that. So you see that word, just cross it out in the book
Mm-hmm.
and use
Mm-hmm.
a different word. Like, this is your workbook. This is your book to use how you see fit that's going to help you. Not even every section is something that you need to discuss.
Right.
I mean, I met a couple that said these are some great questions in food, diet, and travel section.
Mm-hmm.
Quite
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I think we got that on lock. We read through the questions, but I mean, we didn't necessarily spend a lot of time in that chapter because we're both vegetarians. We both,
Mm-hmm.
and I said that's great. And the person said, but we went to friends and family. Like, that was
Right.
that was
Right.
our hot button right there because
Mm-hmm.
we both have blended family situation,
Hmm.
previous marriages, whatever, and we're bringing these two families together. And so that's a section that we spent more time in. Great, whatever you need to do for yourself, for your loved one, you all are in agreement, go for
Right.
it. I mean, it's yours. It's your
Mm-hmm.
book to use to the best of your ability to help you.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. I
Yeah.
think when we did ours, we read a page every night because we had a long distance courtship, so
Mm-hmm.
we got to know each other over FaceTime,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh,
All
okay.
different times of the day and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. That's what it was. But we made sure we read a page every night,
Mm-hmm.
and to keep it fair, so nobody wasn't pick and choosing or avoiding certain questions. He
Mm-hmm.
would read one question, I would read the next one,
Mm-hmm.
then like that back and forth. So you didn't know what was coming next, but then you had to answer it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now
And that's
that's fair in terms of you have to answer it. But I also say in the book that give that person who you're courting
mm-hmm,
some grace.
mm-hmm,
Maybe you're okay answering whatever
mm-hmm,
said question is,
mm-hmm.
but maybe for them, it's triggered something for them and they're just not
Mm.
ready to
Right.
have that discussion.
Oh, I
Right.
could see
Not
that.
that, because you still deserve an answer, right? You're talking
Mm-hmm,
about courtship, as we know, for your viewers who might be watching that are not in the Nation of Islam. Courtship for us is preparing us for marriage. Like, courtship is not dating. That is not what
right.
courtship is. So you do have a right
Right.
to know
Right.
every
Right.
single answer in this book. If
Mm-hmm.
the person who you're courting, you're considering them for marriage, you have a right to know that. However, you don't necessarily have a right to know that in that moment, right? Because that person,
100%.
for whatever reason, just may not be ready to have that discussion. So I ask the readers in the book, give grace and mercy. Maybe that person
Mm-hmm.
is just not ready at that moment. Put a pin, circle it, fold the
Come
page, whatever you need to do, put a little sticky note, and then just come back to it, right? And then
Right.
have an
Right.
agreement as to when
Right.
you're going to come back to it. Not this, okay, we'll eventually talk about it. No, no, no. Let's put some time frame on that. When are
Mm-hmm.
we going to talk about it? So that way you don't forget, and that person, the other person, doesn't feel invalidated because they feel like
uh-huh.
you're just rushing them along. Like, I ain't talking about
Mm-hmm.
that right now. We'll
Mm.
talk. We'll get to
Mm-hmm.
Right,
it. No, when are
Mm-hmm.
we going to get to it? Right.
right.
So
I think.
take the concern seriously. That's all I'm
I
saying.
think. Yeah, there's another question I have, and we're coming to a point of the program at the bottom of the hour. We have some announcements. I know you have some upcoming events that are happening in different
Oh,
ways that are affecting the book. So we're going to talk about those things too. But the question that I have is that you've mentioned this in conversation and on panels and broadcasts that I've heard you talk about. Could you revisit the subject of how there is a certain spirit of courtship? The
Hmm.
courtship has a spirit of not necessarily discovery with the intention of convicting a person of a crime and not being worthy, and it's not
right.
that. You're supporting each other through the courtship so that you can actually, I guess the connection is it's being made as a positive connection. Could you talk about how that happens in a courtship?
Yes, sir. The courtship should be one of discovery, one of grace and mercy, one of I'm getting to know this person, and all praises due to Allah. Allah brought somebody in my life to court. Let's see where this goes, right? It should be a spirit of being inquisitive and
Hmm.
having all of the joy of getting to know someone, not the spirit of, oh, okay, here we go. What is this brother talking about? Right? Or okay, another sister, this sister, what she want to know? Am I gonna maintain her? I mean, we come with the baggage, and we have to check that at the door. This
Come
is a
on.
new person, right? This is a new person. Allah has brought this person to you. This person may possibly be the best thing that's ever happened to you, right? Allah is bringing you a blessing. So
Wow.
be open for the experience. And I mean, the way that we do our courtships in the nation, when I've talked to my friends and some of my family that have asked me, what is this courtship thing? And the courtship, there's a courtship manual. It's not the official Nation of Islam manual, but it's been circulating around. Great
Mhm.
questions in there as well. Great information, great data. And when I've shown people this document and talked to them about the fact that we have chaperones and things of that nature, and they're just like, wow, I love that. That is just so old school and so sweet, like how we used to do things. And I said, yeah, I mean, we need to bring the innocence back and just sit down and have a conversation. I mean, just think, when you have had a good conversation with someone, be it your friend, like your
Right.
best friend or whatever, your homegirl, your homeboy, and you have a really good conversation with them, don't you feel good? Don't you walk away from that like you feel heard, you feel understood, the person probably, encouraged you in that conversation, validated your feelings. Now imagine having that kind of conversation with a loved one, with a person who you're considering for marriage. Like, what? Like, are you kidding me? That's half the battle of what I have
Mhm.
discovered in these divorces between all types of people, right? Is the breakdown of communication. And of course, having been an auditor and studied Dianetics, that's another good thing we should do. The minister said study and complete that course. He didn't say everybody should become an auditor, but we
Right.
should complete the Dianetics course, right? And you learn about ARC, right? Affinity, communication, reality. So I mean, when that communication breaks down and you're not even talking to each other, I mean, it's almost a down the hill, roll down the hill type of situation. I
Wow.
mean, I
It is
gotta
impossible
communicate.
to have affinity without communication. And
Yes,
the
it cannot.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that agreement is the
It's
basis
of
for
love.
love.
That's right.
If you want to build love, find agreement, and
Agreement.
that gives you the foundation to do that. You talk about communications, and I know that Tisha is holding the clock, and I'm going to be very brief, hon.
Go ahead.
But hopefully get a very brief. I just want to get these answers while we're here. Um, you talk about the styles of communication, the importance of communication. How important is it to communicate in the way that you're being heard, or is the responsibility of the hearer to communicate properly, or the responsibility of the speaker, if that makes sense?
I would say it's really both. And it's really important to communicate to the person you're talking to how you hear, how you learn, how you need things said to you. If you know you have some trigger words, like, don't hide that, and then you
Right.
kind of leave it up to the person to figure out where the bombs are, right?
Hmm,
And
hmm,
then let
hmm.
them blow themselves up. No, be
Right, right,
be
right.
honest, communicate, and say, you know what?
Hmm,
When we have conversation, it's really important to me that you're looking at me. Like sometimes
hmm,
I may look away because I'm thinking or whatever, and
hmm,
I'm not doing it purposely. I'm just, thoughts are coming in my mind. Okay, what's the next thing I want to say? And
hmm,
that's a habit of mine. But maybe I'm in courtship with someone that may feel a certain kind of way about that. They may feel disrespected or slighted or something, because I'm not, like, locked in, right? So if that's your thing, you have to
hmm,
communicate that and tell
hmm.
that person how you like to be communicated with. Sometimes I get really excited. I'm using my hands. Some people might be like, "Oh, I don't like that. It's giving me anxiety. Why are you moving your hands so much?" Right?
Right. Put it down.
All
Right, calm
right.
down. You're excited. Calm down. Bring it down. So,
Well,
however you like to be spoken to, you need to communicate that. But also, the listener needs to understand active listening. There's listening, and then there's active listening. And please Google that, Chat GPT
mm,
that. I just dropped
mm,
Right.
something on you real quick.
mm,
Hmm.
mhm,
I took an active listening course,
mhm,
and it's just amazing when you are having a conversation. Sometimes things get missed simply because people are not engaged in active listening. And so they may be sitting right in front of a person's talking to them, but they're thinking about whatever, their mind is somewhere else and they're gone.
Mm.
They're not actually engaged in what the conversation is. So that's important as well. The listener must be actively listening.
Yes, indeed.
Thank
You're
you, Lord.
listening to and viewing Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. We've reached the bottom of the hour, halfway through our program. We promise to give you much more in the second half and keep it action packed. But I'm
Right.
going to now, we're going to take a little pause for the cause, and we'll be back with more after these messages.
Be right back. Assalamualaikum, family.
Assalamu alaikum.
What are we saying? What are we doing? Woo! Assalamualaikum, family. Assalamualaikum, family.
Assalamu alaikum.
We want to thank you for taking the time to tune into Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil
And Sister Tisha. We thank you for every Thursday night joining us for appointment viewing. 8 p.m. Not 8 a.m.
Yeah, I'm going to come in on the PM.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Thursday nights by YouTube, by Facebook, by Instagram, by all the other means by which we can be seen. But we thank you, because without you, as a matter of fact, here the Manhattans, there's no me without you.
We always do that. Assalamualaikum.
There's no me.
You didn't say assalamualaikum. You didn't say assalamualaikum.
Oh, assalamu alaikum.
Special thanks to the mystery man for slipping in the Manhattans that you didn't know about, Tisha. I'm sorry. But it was something, it's important. And he put the picture up with the group, so
So
it's
rough.
important. And while we're talking about groups, let us just have a brief moment of silence in memory of our dear brother Walter Scott from the Whispers. Walter Scott passed away this week and at 81 years of age, but
Yes.
the Whispers were some bad boys. I'll tell you a little thing about courtships.
That's why you froze. You can't tell.
During the courtship, my wife would say, "I don't like all that old music. I don't like all that old." She'd say, "I don't like all that old music. I don't like all that old stuff." And I said, "No, well, I'm gonna take you to see the Whispers." So we get tickets. We go to the Whispers. So we get in the place, nice place, and sitting at the table there, and, a few feet away from the stage. We having a good time. The Whispers come out. That girl, the one on the screen with us right now, Tisha, she was up from the beginning to the end of the just dancing. And the beat goes on. And then she need to rock. She was doing her thing, Oh, man. Hey, Scotty, all of that. So we love the Whispers. We know you do too. And our prayers go out to the Scott family and the entire Whisper Nation over the loss of our dear brother, Walter Scott. All right. Yes. Now we're back. Tish, is there something that I think I wanted to ask you about it for tonight? I don't know. What do you got in your possession there from Louisiana? Anything?
A little package came from the Sugar Shack. Let me show the promo right here.
Yeah. I figured it was something.
This is the navy bean soup that our sister Javon has created for you. It's dehydrated navy bean soup. Let me show you because I got some right here. Let me put it on single so you can see. You're able to contact her and order this. It comes in a nice little package like this, right? All you have to do is add water to it, and then you have some delicious navy bean soup with you. You can put this in your purse, take it for lunch. You can travel, put it in your suitcase, no big cans or nothing. It's dehydrated. You can put it in your survival kits. You can do all that. Hold on, let me get out. And so we're going to get you the information. I know right now you can go to her Facebook page. It's Javon Muhammad and place your order, or you can go to sugarshackfarm.com and place your order. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. And I'm saying that because I looked for the bean soup this weekend I couldn't find. I know you're hiding my stuff, but we'll come back to that after the show. It's probably somewhere right here in Relationship Talks. We find out what it means when you hide people's beanie suit. But it's
Peter.
okay. I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not upset. We're going back to the conversation. We promised that we would say to Sister Katrina, because there's a lot going on. You've been traveling, sister. You've been talking with people. You've been entertaining folks there in Chicago. You gave the story earlier about how people didn't even know that you were the author of the book. But tell us, is there anything going on? Any book promotions? Anything happening in the near future that we should be aware of?
Well, I am so glad you asked that question
Okay.
because I got to bring my flag back out. It's the best flag
Okay.
in the world.
That's it.
I got to
That's
show
it.
this flag right here. Let me tell you, I'm so glad you asked that question, Brother Minister, because guess what?
What?
September 11th through the 14th, get ready to book your flight right now. We will have in our nation a super social fourth annual Jacksonville, Florida single social, and I'm going to be there.
All right now.
I am so excited. It's hosted by student minister Willie Muhammad. Sister Angela is organizing this. I'm going to have a conversation with her. Maybe we could do something, collab, network, a little relationship talk, seminar thing going on. We'll bring your book. Look, let me tell you, I'm so happy for our nation that we are focusing on our relationships and our families. And I'm just so excited. And they have a website. They didn't ask me to do any of this. I'm doing this because I already researched and was like, I love this, and I want to share this. So thank you for letting me share it. It's jaxsinglesocial.com. jaxsinglesocial.com. Look, I'm telling you, it's the bomb.com. I'm excited. I've never been, but I'm like, it's the fourth annual. It's got to be good. I'm going.
It's gotta be happening.
It's gotta be happening.
Well, I tell you what, Tisha, what do you think about that, Jacksonville?
I think that's great. I think we should reach out
to RT team.
Yes, we should reach out to them and do a whole show and get everybody involved, because it's definitely.
You know what? That's something, though. Tisha, you might be onto something. We'll talk more about that when we get into our post-production meeting. But yeah, we should go to Jacksonville, and we should be there in accompaniment of our sister who writes the books, and we live the life. We can bear witness.
Look, y'all already got some chaperones and everything.
Right,
Sister Farah said, we'll see you there. She's already claiming it. And this is my sister Farah and her husband, Brother Al, the great brother Al and Sister Farah, originally from Baltimore and up north, but they're in Florida doing great work and continuing to be the major helpers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan that they are. Good to see you there, Sister Farah, and the family there. So yeah,
I'd like to encourage, Brother Minister, I'd like to encourage all of the believers, from Brother Marcus and his beautiful wife, Sister Cecilia, Brother Student Minister Nuri, his beautiful wife, everyone that has written or talked about this subject and really promoted relationships and courtships and marriages in our community. Let's meet up. Let's come together. Let's do this and make it big. Like, I love that they're doing this, and I love that it's consistent. So, but I know a lot of other people are doing things too. Let's all come together and have one big, social event. And we're talking about for all age groups. So that's another thing that I've heard from sisters that's like, I'd like to go to single socials, but I mean, that's like for the vanguards of the 20 something, I'm hitting 40, 50. And I mean, y'all have anything for the grown girls in the house?
Right.
and I heard they do. So, let's support each other when we do events like this. So all praises to Allah. I really want to be supportive. So I hope to see y'all in Jacksonville, Florida, September 11th through the 14th. Get your tickets.
All right. And Brother William, again, that's the 11th through the 14th of September. In Jacksonville, Florida. And speaking of upcoming events, he didn't say anything about it, but Brother William, who is a Relationship Talks veteran, reading the book, sharing the book, quoting with the book, but he's being married on August the 16th.
He said something. Look.
He did say something. Okay,
I
very
took
good.
your book and implemented some of the things. Took a solid year, and we're getting married in August.
There it is.
Oh my God! All praises
to
Allah. I am so excited for you.
And it's going to be an Oakland wedding, so one thing: at the reception, probably in the ceremony, they're going to holler out, "Blow the whistle." They gonna do something like that at the wedding. Just get ready for it when you attend,
Oh, I'm
Brother
so
William.
honored. I'm so honored. Thank you, Brother William. Thank you for sharing your testimony. Oh,
Yes,
wow.
indeed. Yes, indeed. So there is progress being made. There are
Oh,
events
someone else
taking
is
place.
getting married.
Yep.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow.
At
Praise be
80
to Allah.
from the
Mm,
Jackson. Oh, wait a minute now. You
The
mean
80th.
80ish now, Sister Monica? And that's Moni Muha. Everybody know Sister Monica and
okay.
Brother Wade, the great,
Jacksonville
great
Senior.
power couple. Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
she said one of her dear sisters is getting married at 80ish from the Jackson Senior Social. Alhamdulillah. So there's a
Alhamdulillah.
snowball effect. We're rolling downhill. You can see that there are activities, there are events, there is information, and there are people who are like Sister Katrina. She's a fire starter in the
Right.
righteous way.
Praise be to
She's
Allah.
starting the fires of inquiry and the fires of success, and we're seeing it happen all over the nation. Tisha and I
Praise
are
be
just
to
one
Allah.
example. Brother William and his beloved fiance, they're just one of the examples. Excuse me, and those examples are all over the nation of Islam. So we're very grateful, and he says we're definitely going to have Too Short playing at the.
I'm coming then
You
for
don't
sure.
you don't have to put all the
Right.
comments up on the screen
I'm
because
just wanted them to know I'll be there in support if Too Short is playing. Yes.
And I'm bringing my fan too. You know that fan
Cool.
dance? I'm bringing
Where
my
them
fan.
fans at?
Ready, 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 ready.
we are digressing
Where the
away from the
fans at?
subject matter. You're watching Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha and Sister Tisha's crazy friend, Sister Katrina.
Look,
We're all
Brother
back
David said,
together.
so there's hope for me at 48. Yes, Brother David,
There's
your
hope
wife
for
is
you.
going to be waiting on you at the Jacksonville Social. You need to get there,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, you got to get down there. And you can go, Brother David, you don't have to go by plane, you can go by car. You can even take a bus.
There you
If
go.
you know anything about buses, Brother David, the bus will go down there to Jacksonville
The
from
bus.
Atlanta as
He
well.
drives the
So
bus.
we want to make sure that we get it. He doesn't want any more buses. And he's had enough for the bus every day.
He's had enough.
All right. But we want to make sure we get some folks in front of Sister Katrina. Now, when people are asking you, Sister, and this is something else that pops into mind, we thank you all for your questions in the chat. And we thank our sister for entertaining the questions from the chat and from the panel here on the program. But when people come up to you and they ask you about situations, I've heard you refer folks. Now, that's a good question. I could say this, but I want you to go and seek help in whatever circle you're a part of. I think that's great wisdom. What is it that inspired you to make that response to the questions? Because I
I'm going to
see
say,
you when you add as much as you can, and then you refer to where the people need to go. How did you get
I'm going to
started doing
say
that?
the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because at the end of the day, I'm a student. This man, this beautiful man, what he was introduced one time as our counselor, our
Mhm.
doctor, our attorney, the Lamb of God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, let's
Mm-hmm.
be clear.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That this man has all of these questions that's in this book. He has
Mm-hmm.
already talked about all of this stuff in his lectures. So let's go back and get the lectures, go to the final call, order the DVDs if you have not, or in some cases they're already uploaded on YouTube, and read. Go back and listen and read and get transcripts of it. Make your own transcript. Go back and read his books. I mean, he's already answered all of these questions. I mean, every single
Mm.
question that's in this book, quite honestly, probably every single. I'm gonna say that, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, he has discussed all of these topics, all of these issues, and let's be clear. The minister said that, quite honestly, the number one issue that's causing all of the divorce or separations or relationship drama and problems is our lack of connection with Allah. So as soon
Wow.
as we strengthen our connection with Allah, that's when things will get better for us in
Yes,
our
it
marriage
will.
and all around our lives, right? From our work life, our personal life, just it all starts there with Allah. So knowing that and knowing who He is, I wrote this book. It's a lot of questions. Allah put these questions in my mind, but He's our leader, teacher, and guide.
That's right.
Okay, so no, it's not about what I think. You need to go back and read and listen to what the minister said do, and then follow those instructions. All praises due to Allah. We were told when you see Him, look at Him.
Come
When
on.
you hear Him, listen to Him. Go where he
Mhm.
says go. Stay away from where he says stay away from. Were we
Yeah.
not told that? So at the end of the day, that wasn't a suggestion. Those were instructions.
Come
Yes,
on.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And
Look,
I
we
have
can
to tell you,
go
I have
through
to tell you,
and ask him that he has those answers.
I
Yes, sir.
got to tell you, I got to tell you, as I listen to what you're saying and the impassioned and powerful way that you place it, it reminds me, Tisha, of and I hope that the mystery man is on. I hope Brother Dave C is on. I hope even all of that whole crew down there, Brother Vaughn, everybody, I hope they heard my sister preaching because
Mm,
normally we don't preach
right.
on nothing but the truth. We don't have a lot of preaching on here, but my sister made some points and she preached those points. And Brother William is bearing witness in the chat. That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right. So we have all of those things. If you are in the chat, this is your chance now to pose your question. We have literally about 6 more minutes of subject time, and then we'll move into the wrap up so Sister Katrina can give us the closing instructions that we need as we see folks checking in throughout the program, all the way down in Jackson, Mississippi. There's Sister Catherine and Brother David and the family at
Love
number
it.
78 in Jackson. Always good to see you all. But we're going
I
to
want to
wrap
make
up. But pardon me?
I want to make a point real quick before we
Mm-hmm.
wrap up about the book. Let me tell you what I was thinking about with the book.
Mm-hmm.
We used it a lot before during courtship and before we got married, but we mentioned how we always go back and reference it now. And I
Mm-hmm.
want everybody to understand how important it is, how much of a tool this is, and a guide that is not just for the beginning of courtship, it's not just for the beginning of marriage. It is wise, it would be wise to go back and revisit it periodically, because in doing so, you'll see some of your answers may change because you've changed since you've become married, right?
Right.
The way
Right.
you answered something during courtship
Mm-hmm.
before you've experienced this other
Mm-hmm.
person and before
Mm-hmm.
you started on this new path with this other person may not be the same now, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
you may experience something new and y'all need to discuss that through.
Right.
Something,
Right.
and what made me think about it, because I was just thumbing through it right before, and it was in food and diet and travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just flipping through. And on page 71, let me get over
Mm-hmm.
there so I can read it
I'm
exactly.
writing that chapter. I'm right there with you. Go right ahead.
Mhm. Page 71, and it was question number 23. She asked just something as simple as this: what irritates you when dining out?
Mm. What
Okay.
irritates me is dining out in the first place. I don't want to be out there in them people's restaurant. I don't know them. I don't know who they are. I know that in
He's
our cup on the counter because I'm gonna get it because everything is neat and clean here,
no,
and I don't have to worry about the ingredients. So I don't know what irritates you when you go out. What it also has the question here:
he's true.
does it irritate you when your wife keeps the bean soup hidden from you that is sent in from Louisiana at the Sugar Shack farm?
So what
That
question is
question is
that?
not in. Yeah, that's
It
not
is
in the
not in there. The truth ain't in you, and that question ain't in the book, brother.
But you do know at the end of each chapter, I encourage the couples to add their own questions.
Yes.
So maybe
But
that's
let me
what you wrote yourself, brother minister.
he's out of control. Let me tell you about the dining thing, why this came up, why it tickled me. It's not so much dining out, because he's true. It's true. He doesn't like to eat out very much. We'll drive around and say we're going out to eat, and then we wind up back at home because we drive up to my I don't want that.
Yeah.
But when we eat, and I don't think he knew this about me, because when I answered that question, I put that nothing really irritates me with dining out. But when we eat dinner, like I like to eat with just a spoon. I use a spoon. And I like a certain kind of spoon with this little gray handle, whatever. We have different silverware, but I always go for this one set. These got these little handles on it. And in the beginning, he used to always say, when we're setting the table and stuff, he did the knife, fork, the spoon, and then the knife and the fork will still be sitting there because I don't like to eat I eat with the spoon. He's like a child. And he's like, are you sure you don't want the, so he kept presenting it to me. And I was like, could you stop putting that on my, that was like really irritating me. But he was like, but you can, like, are you sure with your spaghetti you don't want a fork? Now he's like, you can't eat that with a spoon. But I did. And I did it. I just like a spoon. So irritating. But now
Okay.
he's better. Now he knows. Don't even.
Don't
That's the
harass
only
me with
person
that
I've
fork
ever
and that
seen
knife, bro.
she eat fish and spaghetti with a spoon. I don't know how
Yeah.
she do it, but she gets
Look,
Everything.
it
My
done.
salad, everything's with a spoon. I don't know
And
why.
brother William, get ready, because sister Willetta, I'm sister Willetta. I'm sure she has some weird stuff that's gonna come
he
out.
said I saw
You
it.
got some weird stuff that's gonna come out for you too. Okay. And brother William said he saw her eat
Yeah.
with. He's seen Sister Tisha eat with a whole meal with a spoon. But
Don't
it's
hate on
just
the
one of
spoon.
those.
That's my
It's
sister. If it make her happy, all praises due to Allah.
But I didn't know we had to revisit that, and we've talked about it several. We've talked about that several times. So
Yes.
now, what year 4 into it, we're okay. He knows. Don't
Mhm.
even bring me a fork. I'm good. But
I bring the spoon.
it's
I
there.
bring the
So my point is, you will revisit the book for certain things because your answers may change, and that's okay. And so if something you guys were in agreement in the beginning that you're not now, all you have to do is revisit it, talk through it, and move on.
Mhm.
Right?
Right. Like brothers might be like, oh yeah, I don't mind the house, being a little cooler. That's not
Mhm.
because I don't want to sweat in the house. And then they get married, and then the sister got the AC on like 62
Right.
with a fan blowing, and she got other fans because she going through the summertime of her
Right.
life, you know.
The personal
And the
summer.
brother's
Yes.
like, okay, I know I said I didn't mind it be a little cool in the house, but dang, this feel like a freezer.
Right.
Wait a
I
minute, I
promise
need
you,
some second
I did
bath.
not tell Sister Katrina that. I know you think I
Oh,
told her that, but the house in here, this be on frigid igloo. She set the
It
I
does
mean,
temperature
make
to
all brothers need to
igloo.
understand if a sister hit a certain time of her life, I'm gonna tell you an example. When
okay.
you're cooking, brother, you
Mhm.
said you like cooked meals at home, you like to cook at home, okay. And you got that oven on like 400,
Mhm.
350, whatever it is. Just imagine for a moment.
Just
You
for a moment.
open just for a moment. You open the oven and you stick your head in the
Yes.
oven and that blast of heat hits you. Now imagine that what that feels like. Imagine that feeling all day long, 24 hours a day, where it's just this intense
Look at
heat
his face.
blowing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Listen, that's
so
fine.
you might want to turn it from 63 to 60,
Okay.
brother,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
and put on a sweatshirt or something.
Yeah. Or maybe a hoodie.
Brother Williams said, "Oh no, ma'am, I'm good on that."
Listen, we are winding up the program. Let me just
All
recap a
praises due
couple
to
of these
Allah.
announcements. We heard the new one tonight. I'm going to recount that one first. I'm still going to ask the help of the chat, because the chat, you are undefeated. You are the very best in all of broadcasting. This chat, you're intelligent, good looking, and cooperative. So I'm going to ask you to go in the chat and put this in. This is the 11th through the 14th of September in Jacksonville. Somebody, what's the contact information, Sister Katrina, so we can go
J
into the chat and put it in there so people can write it down.
JAX singlesocial.com. JAX
JAX.
single, singlesocial.com. And I hope everyone can make it because I'm excited about this. I really love the information they shared. And let's come together, you know?
Let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it. Let's do it.
I love it.
And you
Let's
know
do
what?
it.
One more thing I want to say. I mean, we've been told this, but I think it's important to mention. There's a lot of things happening in the world today. There's a lot of news. There's a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
politics and all that.
Mhm.
But I'm really, really excited that I'm seeing this trend in our nation and really in the greater community of couples, Black couples coming together and getting engaged and making a family. And I love when people post their engagements, these surprise engagements, and they got the big will you, and you don't even know, the woman walks in, she's totally surprised, she don't know what's going on. I love that. I love that we are tuning out of the craziness out there because that's gonna do what it do, right? And we're focusing on us. We're focusing on what we need, our families, our life, our relationships. I just think that's where it's at because we're not going to change this thing for our community until we get our families together. And so
That's
if we're
right.
focusing on that, all praise is due to Allah. So I want to congratulate you all for promoting that, and all of your listeners and all of your watchers and followers for doing the same. So thank you so much.
Wow, wow. We have been well taught and fed tonight from the spiritual fountain of great information and practical information from our sister Katrina Muhammad. A couple of other things that are happening next week, next Thursday, right back here on time.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Delay. Yes, I promised you
Love
Jay
it.
Delay before, but he'll
Love
be
it.
back. Pardon me?
Love it. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, Jay Delay, and he's got a project he need to let everybody know about. So we need to gather around early because you may be involved in the project before you even leave the program next week. So I know Sister Katrina will be with us in the chat. You'll see her next week. Jay Delay, the whole family, everybody gonna be here. Special shout out to my sister Zenzabel from Black Liberation Media. That is my sister. She is smart as a whip, and she'll knock you out too.
Oh,
And so, yeah, Zenzi don't play with you.
love it.
And so she's there. But we are certainly, she said, Tisha, you beautiful. She said, regards to you
Oh,
and
you
your
too,
beautiful wife. Go Zenzi. All right. But she's here. And so there's so much that we're covering. Also, tomorrow, I almost forgot, if you're around at 11 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, 10 in the morning in the Central Time Zone, and 8 in the morning if you're on the West Coast, get up with us and go to WPFW fm.org, because I'm going to be there. I'm going to be sitting behind the table in the studio playing a tribute to Sly Stone. You don't
Yes.
want to miss that. Sly, the innovator, Sly, the originator, Sly, the pioneer. And you'll hear some parts of Sly I bet you haven't heard before. There's a whole lot more to him than dance to the music and hot fun in the summertime. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 Central, 8 on the West Coast at somebody could put it in the chat if you can, www.wpfwfm.org. And you just click on listen live and you'll hear your brother. And we're going to be getting down and we're going to be doing our thing. Okay? We're
Okay.
going to get it together. Oh, Zinzi says she listened to she'll knock us out with love. Stop
Good
playing,
luck.
girl. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's cute.
Can I add, since we're talking about knocking people out,
Uh-huh.
martial arts national training. That's
Oh, okay.
as well. That's
I
going
didn't
to
know where she was going with that.
I know, right? What's going on?
Like, what?
Yeah.
The 24th through the 26th this month in July, here in Chicago.
In
So
Orland Park,
already,
Illinois. So
that's right.
yes.
That's right. So I hope you all can make it too, because that's a great,
Mhm.
great training. And I mean, couples need to train together. Couples that train together stay
Mhm.
together. So
That's a fact. That's a
you
fact.
need to do that, right? That's very
Mhm.
important, especially in this day and age. Is definitely kind of crazy out there. So we all need to be trained up, and that's a great, great exercise, a great activity for couples to do together.
Beautiful.
No doubt. No doubt. Thank you so much. Tisha, last words for us?
Nope. I just want to thank everybody again for joining us for another edition of Nothing But the Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Tisha. Please remember to go to our YouTube page and our Facebook page, like, share, and subscribe, and help us grow this platform. Tune in again this same time next Thursday so you can witness and be a part of the show when we bring on the great Jay Delay. You don't
Yes,
want to miss it.
indeed. You don't want to miss it. And so until next week, everybody be at peace. Don't do nothing to nobody you wouldn't have them do unto you. But
I
if they
mean,
do something, get with it and handle your business. But we're going to make sure that
rumble.
we all stay in tune and in peace. And Allah willing and the creek don't rise. We'll be right back here next Thursday at 8 Eastern and 7 Central. Relationship Talks. Hold it up. Get
Oh,
your
they can
copies.
purchase it
We
at
love
Amazon
y'all.
too,
And
brother.
may Allah bless you. Be at peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum, family.
Shalom.